Some entitled kids are ringing our doorbell and running 24/7. We're a family living in an apartment with those typical doorbells that make a deafening noise. So loud that you can hear the bells from other apartments ringing. Normally, when we hear this sound, we expect it to be the mailman or someone from our home. However, last year 2022, we began hearing children ringing our doorbell and running away. It was an isolated incident, and I thought they wouldn't do it again, right? But to our surprise, the next day, there they were again, repeatedly ringing the doorbell. This became a routine. The doorbell rang once, twice, 3 times in a row, until one day, my brother-in-law, whom we affectionately call Cricket, he has this thing for eating crickets, hence the nickname, decided to confront them. He went out to the balcony and scolded them. They didn't come back for a long period of time. Almost a year. But yesterday, the kids rang the doorbell again. Imagine the scene: 7 kids ringing the doorbell and running like crazy. I, already completely irritated, couldn't take it and ran out to the balcony and shouted, "Sons of a..." But guess what? At 2 a.m., the kids were back. "Ring it. Come on, do it," they encouraged each other. But this time, Cricket came out to the balcony and shouted, "Go ahead, ring that doorbell," and the kids ran away in fear. Today, when we returned home, we saw the kids getting ready to ring the doorbell again. And guess what our reaction was? "Come on, ring the doorbell. Come," we shouted in a playful tone. At that moment, my dad noticed an adult man, apparently responsible for them, and went to explain the situation. But you know what he said? "Why are you shouting at the kids? You should be shouting in prison." My dad simply said, "For you to keep saying that, I'm leaving." And he left. A lady who lives in the apartment below came to talk to us about why we were arguing. After a brief explanation, she said the kids had rung the doorbell of her 80-year-old friend and even broken something of hers. Her friend got angry and talked to the kids' mother. The kids said, "Liar. We never touched anything. Blah blah blah." And the mother simply believed her children. I wonder, why would an 80-year-old lie about this? The neighbor from the apartment below decided to intervene and said she would talk to a friend of the kid's mother to try to resolve the situation. In the meantime, I'm thinking of filming the kids ringing the doorbell to show it to their mother. If she reacts negatively, I won't hesitate to call the police and present all the evidence that we have. I'll try to update D. Goodbye. I saw a YouTube video of this, and the kids were waking a woman's baby that was trying to nap. She got a Ring camera for her doorbell and made sure to get a good clear picture. She printed it and posted it on the door, telling the kids that she had their picture and were looking for their parents to tell them. If that doesn't deter them, make sure the poster says you will be calling the cops and reporting them for being a nuisance. Do it and record them, then tell the mother that you are going to sue them for the harassment her kids are giving you. Also get cops involved, see what happens then. Good luck. I'm not suggesting you fill water balloons with a concentrated Kool-Aid mix and toss from a shadowy spot. That would be wrong. No sugar required. I had this happen while staying at a hotel for work that was also hosting a school field trip for spring break. Every night around 11 p.m. these kids would pound on my door, then run away. Since I had to be up at 3 a.m. for work, they were killing my sleep. Turns out they were doing it to a bunch of my colleagues too. Front desk was zero help. After 3 days, I set my alarm and waited. Sure enough, around 11 p.m., 5 kids come giggling up to my door to start kicking and pounding. Except the second they went to do it, I threw open the door and Primal screamed and slammed the door. I don't think I'll ever top the high it gave me. Just get a doorbell cam and record it. Then file a restraining order for harassment. Problem solved. Next time they ring that bell, it's off to juvie. Parents have no one to blame but themselves. Get a Ring doorbell and save every incident. Report it to management every single time. Keep copies of the pictures, videos for yourself. And let management know that you are willing to escalate it if the problem is not controlled. See if mom thinks her little angels are so great when she's getting eviction warnings and people have photo-video evidence of her brats making nuisances of themselves and breaking people's property. Especially if she gets charged for anything broken. Find out where they live and do it back? When confronted, explain the situation. Or just disconnect the doorbell. Why don't you report the harassment to the apartment manager? Are we just gonna gloss over the eating crickets part? Nerf Super Shooter water gun with Kool-Aid dyed water. Can you have the super or management company install a silence switch so you can at least shut off the buzzer while sleeping? At a minimum, notify the super that building kids are harassing you and your neighbors with the doorbells. Maybe file police reports and forward them to management. You can file a police report. They likely won't press charges. Almost positive they would not against the children, but possibly against the parents, especially if they keep on. Follow them home. Then unleash your revenge. Make a complaint to the property manager. If they don't do anything, get neighbors that also have it happen to them together and all go see the property manager and make a complaint. Otherwise, get a door cam and then get the police involved. Especially if this is done late at night. Have a bucket of water waiting for them and next time dump it on them little assholes. If you have this many people aware and a victim of the situation, you all need to get together and demand that the apartment manager do something. My apartment building has an intercom bell, and I cannot see the person ringing the bell. But when I hear nothing on the other end, when I take up the handset, I know it's them pesky kids again. So, I decided a while ago to just say things like Mommy and Daddy don't love you. Sinterklaas Santa Claus isn't real. Daddy Mommy bangs the neighbor. You know. Stuff like that. Because who are they gonna complain to? I don't know if that's entitled, but they are definitely assholes. If they don't stop and the parents aren't controlling their children, especially late at night, start ringing their doorbell at 2 a.m. and run away. Or just tell the parent at 2 a.m. your kid is ringing mine, annoying isn't I have to get up late at night, so do you. If your kids continue, so will I. Then show them any of the video recordings you have of them doing it. Don't show the video to the kid's mother. Show it to the police, telling them that you wish to make a complaint about noise. They are making noise at 2 a.m. The fact that the noise is coming from a bell inside your apartment does not make it any the less their fault and harassment. So everyone in your area needs to look into electronic shock doorbells. This would be wrong, so don't do this. Give a bigger mean kid $50 for some chore. Tell him you would like to give him 50 more in 2 weeks. But these kids keep ringing my bell and I might be too tired to make $50 more. Stayed in Air Force flats as a kid. That stage it was knock and run. My mom some days would have a bucket of dirty water next to the door if she suspected the kids were at it again. A few kids ended up with free showers. Send your kids or do it yourself to ring the parents' doorbell at 2 a.m. That stops when they do. I bet the parents stop it then. Ding Dong Ditch was easier to get away with before cameras were everywhere, but it's been played by bored kids for decades. Just call the police and be done with it. Fill a bucket with Coca-Cola. Next time they ring your doorbell, pour the Coca-Cola on them from your balcony. It will make a mess of their clothes and leave a sticky mess on their hair and skin. But it won't harm them. Keep doing it each time they return. Eventually they'll learn to leave you alone. Is there a dark corner where you could sit in a black robe and scare the hell out of them? Notify the apartment complex as well as recording the kids. Have your craziest, biggest buddy hang out for a few hours. Little turds ring the bell. Have him scream like a lunatic. Rip his shirt off. And chase the little bastards. Bet they stop real quick. Would be hard to run when your pants are full of pee and crap. Figure out where they live and return the favor at random times at night. This was happening to me a long while ago. I just disconnected the doorbell. Took like 5 minutes. Work smarter, not harder. You take the cover off the chime. You use a flathead screwdriver to loosen the screw. You disconnect one wire and wrap it with electrical tape. No more doorbell problem. Put something disgusting and sticky at the doorbell so when touch it they get goo all over. Like the sticky rat traps. Alternatively, take the batteries out of your bell. Or put one of those gag zappers which give a little jolt if you touch it. Or rig it to make a very loud noise right next to them so they get a sound blast instead of you. Any one of these would peeve them. And make sure you get a Ring doorbell to catch the payback. Straight to TikTok, baby. Tape a thumbtack to the doorbell. They'll learn not to push it. Have bug spray in hand. Open the door. And scream roaches and pretend to spray. They won't be back for a while. Hook a battery up to the metal ring around the bell for a shocking good time. Shoot them with a paintball gun. Screw showing it to the parents. Get with everyone they've been messing with. Get what proof you can and go to the apartment management and get them kicked out. Give Cricket a paintball gun. You could always be like my friend's neighbor in Tennessee and just shoot at the kids for ringing your doorbell. No one was hit, but they sure never went back to his place. Find out where they live and ring their doorbells day and night. Install a security camera to record them. Post the pics and find out who they are. Or ask someone who works or volunteers at the local schools if they know who they are. Edit spelling. Paintball thinking face. Anyone amongst you all an electrician? Just place a sign saying bell broken, please knock, or text. Their fault if they get a totally non-lethal shock. Get water balloons and fill them with paint and drop them on them. Those kids need to be on punishment, it's very disrespectful. Get a motion-activated sprinkler. The kids will get a nice surprise. Glue a nice thumbtack to the doorbell. It works like a charm. Paintball gun. Rig a bomb to the doorbell, they won't be back. How old are you, op? I'm just curious. You got it in the end. Video and call the police, building management, and the parents in that order. The parents have demonstrated they are useless, so letting them know there is evidence and you're pursuing redress is a courtesy. A police report is good whether criminal charges result or not, as you can go to small claims court and ask for compensation. Try our Ask Legal. I know this is an apartment complex, but you all should really look into how easy it is to disconnect the fucking doorbell. Jesus Christ. And everyone saying that those kids will listen to their parents or anybody else. You have too much hope. When I was a kid, there were a bunch of boys who would do it accelerated the day they put a firecracker in our mailbox. My fearless mom chased them down and confronted them. She could be scary when angry. I wasn't there, so I don't know what they never did it again. She could frighten the pants off any kid. I knew that from personnel experience. Remove the wires from the doorbell. They can push and nothing happens. Spray them with a hose next time they enter your property, and definitely get a Ring doorbell if this continues. If any kids ever ring your doorbell, don't react, that's what they want. I used to play ding dong ditch with my friend growing up. We would only ring the houses we knew would get mad. My BF said he'd rig it so they got an electrical shock the next time they touched the doorbell. If the kids live in your complex, couldn't you just file a complaint against that apartment with management? Or show them the story of the guy who killed the kids who rang his doorbell. Ring their doorbell at 2 a.m. Film it and let the police talk to the mother. I'll bet she will listen to them. Tell your property manager. It's a nuisance and they can be evicted. We had an issue with teens all in the hall loudly discussing their sexual experiences and spitting seeds in the floor. I called the manager at my AITA. She came in and loudly explained this is loitering and eviction behavior according to their parents' leases. Then she went to their apartments and explained it to the parents along with the fact the complaint was having to hear 14.15.16 years old girls discussing BJS with their boyfriends. Never seen or heard a peep again until they moved. Tears of joy. I would modify the doorbell and on the third ring a zapper. Are you allowed to put doorbell cameras in the shared hallways? Talk to your neighbors and see if you can get their permission. Call CPS and the police. Kids run MG around at 2 a.m. is illegal. Record them and then contact the AITA management. Demand they be thrown out. Get a picture and dox the kids. Put a zapper on the doorbell. If they're in the US, these kids are playing with fire. There are literally psychopathic gun owners who dream of things like this that would let them shoot through door and kill someone for the castle doctrine. Usually if you get M with some 12-gauge birdshot they'll stop coming around. Can you get a big speaker and put it by the door, then rig up some things so that when somebody rings the doorbell some awful sound goes off like a loud chainsaw or a huge dog barking? Buy some Coca-Cola or whatever drink they'll steal, put some laxatives and accidentally forget to bring them in or leave them in a cooler for labeled "Do not steal" for delivery workers. Make sure delivery workers don't accidentally get one. It's called Knock Knock Ginger where I grew up. I'm sure it's annoying, but it is a time-honored tradition. Can you pour water on them from your balcony? Just disconnect the bell. Lol. Sir, this is a Wendy's. That's not entitlement. Not sure I'd call them entitled. Little assholes maybe, but not entitled. Ding dong dash, some of the best times of my life. Tears of joy, tears of joy, tears of joy, tears of joy. How many kids didn't play ding dong ditch? Whether in an apartment or house. We all did it. Was it obnoxious? Yes. Did we overdo it? Also yes. Was it thrilling? A resounding yes. I'm continually amazed that the things we did for fun as children that absolutely piss us off as adults. Now we truly understand the consequences of what we were doing to the adults of our childhood. What a boring story. Explain to me where the entitlement is. We kept getting doorbell ditched when I was younger. We stopped answering the door after 9 p.m. Their fun petered out pretty fast because of that. I would say they do it for a reaction. But if they're breaking other people's property, then they may escalate to that to get a reaction out of you. The classics never die. Lol, you humored them a second time? Keep giving them a reason to come back and they'll probably leave. Ring doorbell cam. Now, the reason we have it is because kids were pranking us by putting condoms on our door and car handles. So maybe you do the reverse and put a condom, open and unrolled, on your doorbell. Get one of the toy hand buzzers and place over bell at night. Put up cameras, then file harassment charges. That should get parents' attention. Lol, we have kids doing this but they don't know our doorbell doesn't work. I flipped out on kids doing this to me 2 weeks after my mom died. I went to the parents' house and yelled, telling them they need to get their kids to stop. I usually don't react this way. Bad timing. I just want to tell you that you can lower the volume of your doorbell. Remove the casing of the bell mounted on the wall and you'll see a volume control. I just figured this out a couple of weeks ago after being annoyed by the volume for years. That doesn't solve the bratty kids problem. We have security cameras and I would be showing the parents what their little darlings are up to. Find the breaker for your doorbell and turn it off. Get management involved and let them handle it. Don't engage with the kids or do anything. Management should have been involved from the beginning. Now you guys have started a fun prank war with the kids. Absolutely set up a recording device. They have doorbell versions, outdoor light versions to replace the bulb in your porch light, and just plain obvious mountable camera versions. We currently have Roku smart home interior cameras set in our windows facing out and get a really clear video of almost our entire yard that is visible from that window. Saw this somewhere. See if you can get a picture of the kids printed out and put posters around warning your neighbors of them. Just get a sign saying poop on doorbell, don't touch. Disable the doorbell. I'd be tempted to smear cat crap on their front doorknob every time they rang my bell. I'd also put the footage of their hellspawn on Nextdoor. Can you just disconnect the doorbell? With today's technology, Ring, I'm surprised you've allowed it to continue for this long. Put in a metal button and wire it through the dryer. Tears of joy. Joking of course, but I would install a Ring camera and let them have it for a week or so, then I'd disconnect the damned doorbell but keep the Ring cam. Get a video camera and use it. The prices are really low nowadays. Yeah. They have shitty parents. So it's not going to do anything if you tell the parents, because the parents are assholes and don't care. Get a Ring doorbell. Get good pictures of them. Post it on your neighborhood website. Give it to your landlords. Post it all around the building and just publicly shame them as much as you can. This happened to my mom as well. 2 boys, brothers, who lived down the street kept pranking her by throwing water balloons at her car, denting it as well as ringing the doorbell and running. One day they decided to use fart spray as a joke and sprayed it on the door before doing ding dong ditch. She came out and she and my stepdad thought it was a gas leak. They called 911 about a possible leak and a fire truck and 2 cop cars showed up. When they determined it was a prank, we didn't have a video doorbell. My mom was furious. She gave the parents a good talking to and now she doesn't even see any of them at all anymore. They probably do it to arouse a reaction. If you ignore it and don't respond, they'll probably just get bored with it. When I was a kid, we played doorbell ditch. I know. We were terrible. We hit one neighbor's house more frequently because she'd come out and throw a fit. You could also try to remove the bell feature and put a note saying, "Doorbell broken. PLS knock." It would be less annoying. If they do it around the same time each day, cover your doorbell in something gross like dog shit or Vaseline. They'll press the ringer without thinking because they're so focused on a quick escape and immediately regret it once they get the stuff on them. Don't forget to clean your doorbell after. Maybe set up a camera and every time you see them around, throw those bang snaps in their direction. Skip the mom. She won't do anything. Get pictures and file a complaint with the police. Nair in a water balloon. Fire a shotgun into the air from the balcony. That'll shut 'em up. Disclaimer: I am not responsible for any crime or negligence carried out by my response. Lol. It's dangerous to play ding-dong ditch these days and the parents just allow it? Contact the landlords and if they do nothing, the police. My doorbell doesn't work, and it is because of people like this that I have never followed up on getting it fixed. Reminds me of the story of some kids ringing a doorbell, and the owner chased after them and made them crash their car. All the kids died. You are entitled for thinking you are above childish shenanigans. Spray them with a water hose. Get a doorbell camera. Get permission if needed to install a camera to catch them in the act. I once had kids in my street knocking on our doors and running. I saw them and watched from upstairs windows as they circled the neighborhood until they got back to my street. I heard them say, "Let's do it again." I ran down to my front door and waited until I saw one of them on my doorstep. Then I flung the door open so fast that it scared the crap out of him and he fell down the front step. They never did it again.